Welcome to Inside My Kitchen. I'm Chef Bradley Miller of the Inner 7th Ray, and this is the Anti-Griddle. This is kind of a new thing on the market. It's been out for a little bit, but kitchens are starting to really start to use them a little more. It's kind of a little more for a modern kitchen. It's more for fun. I mean, we do it for garnishes on plates. We use it for a lot of pastries and stuff like that, but it's one of those things that it's completely and utterly just to have fun. I mean, it's a great product, and it's actually really cool. So basically the functionality of the Anti-Griddle is it's the exact opposite of a griddle. Instead of getting really, really hot, it gets really, really, really cold. As you can see right here, if you want to stick, I mean, your fingers will almost stick to it if you touch it. Right now it's pretty cold, but it'll get even colder than this as the night goes on, as we leave it on. My fingers are already starting to stick to it. And what we use it for here is, I do a little bit of the Minier D's on here. I do, basically we do a cayenne and bittersweet chocolate with a little bit of smoked sea salt. And I just temper my chocolate really quick, and then I dab them on here. So basically it dries, or it basically solidifies in the shape I want it. And that's when you need something extremely cold. Also, we do, on one of our dishes, we do a little bit of sour cream ice cream, but instead of doing the ice cream into a classic scoop or, you know, kind of a quenelle, what we do is we do little dots of it. And then they get put on the plate like little dots, and they're little frozen dots, and they look, when you put them in your mouth, they melt, and it's ice cream. This is just a mixture of sour cream ice cream. You just take sour cream, make an ice cream base, and mix in your fresh sour cream into it. And it's not frozen. And what we'll do is we'll just dab a little of these on here, and it will instantly kind of freeze. This machine, once you turn it on, it takes about 25 minutes so you can use it. Depending on how liquid your product is that you're using, you can use it almost within 5 minutes. But after this thing's been on all night, it's instantly so cold that your fingers will stick to it when you touch it. The other application you can use it for is using liquid nitrogen. Liquid nitrogen would also be doing this, where if you wanted to do it at home, if you could get a hold of some liquid nitrogen, all you do is take a piece of metal, dip it in your liquid nitrogen, pull it out, and do the exact same thing. If you don't have liquid nitrogen at home, which most people probably don't have, you could just use a really, really, really ice cold freezer and a little bit, a big bag full of salt and ice, and then take a piece of metal out of your ice cold freezer and then shake it up in the ice and salt mix, and that will get it as cold as it can possibly get, and then you can try and do this. And these have only been on here for not even a few seconds, and it's already ice cold. This machine has been around, I think, for the last 3 years. The restaurant Culinary in Chicago was the ones who invented it with PolyScience, and it's with Chef Grant Natchez. And he basically is the one who needed this for his avant-garde cooking, and now PolyScience actually sells it to anybody else who wants it. This machine right here, this unit is about $1,300, and then we take these basically, and we just throw them in the freezer from here. We try to do them fresh to order, but if we're going to be a really, really busy night, we just take them off here. We put them inside of a little tin, and they go in the freezer, and they stay frozen. The benefit of using this is the instant freeze it gets. You can instantly freeze something. Usually we do, you can do like we've done a little bit of a foam, where you have your ISI can, you'll foam it up on here, and you'll freeze one side, and you'll flip it over, and you'll freeze the other, and it'll still be creamy in the center. And that's basically one of those textures. As soon as it goes out to the table, it's frozen on one side, frozen on the other, but creamy in the center, and it's kind of a play on textures, which really, really wows people. And they'll stay frozen, I mean, for about 5 minutes, until the customer just pops them in their mouth, and they literally just melt in your mouth. And it's ice cream, it's sour cream ice cream. It's really, really good. I would say the only drawback to using this method is you got to be fast. You got to be really, really fast. That's the Anti-Griddle. As far as people saying, you know, would this be considered molecular gastronomy? I don't think so. I think it's just a new technique to use in a kitchen. I mean, as a chef, we don't like the words molecular gastronomy because it's kind of a cop-out, and I think a lot of people use it as a gimmick. I think there's the new wave of avant-garde cooking. And as a chef, we want to use the newest techniques and, like, you know, basically whatever's going to help us and make our job easier. And sometimes what people call molecular gastronomy helps us out, and it actually makes things easier, makes things nicer, makes it look better. So that's kind of where I help, my stance on molecular gastronomy. Thank you for coming inside my kitchen. I'm Chef Bradley Miller of the Inner 7th Ray, and that was the Anti-Griddle.